This is Mike Ward with Live Explore in Petaluma. I'm here with Tavis Moses, owner of Sonoma Valley Jiu Jitsu, and we're here to talk about confronting grief and Jiu Jitsu. And this is the Ward Report. Hey, dude.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
We're just talking about your sultry voice.
Yeah.
And how maybe go do what's the guy? Who's the dude that sang Soul in the 70s? Isaac Hayes.
I don't know.
You don't never listen to Isaac Hayes? Deep,
I'm sure I know the songs, but
oh yeah.
My morning voice gets really deep.
Just Boogie Nights soundtrack type stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into it. True or false? That's what we'll start out with. 3 of them.
Okay.
You know what a bunny suit is?
Bunny suit?
Did you have a bunny suit as a kid?
No.
A bunny suit as a kid is these things that they're like PJs, but they're one pieces. Okay. And they've got a zipper on them.
Like a onesie?
Yeah, like a onesie, but like when you're a little older, like 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then you've got leather bottoms. Did you ever have one of those?
Yeah.
It's like one of my best memories as a kid is getting in and out of my bunny suit for some reason, but this pertains to a bunny suit, so I'm just making sure you're on the same page as me. A ghillie suit is kind of like a bunny suit for grown-ups.
Ooh.
What is a ghillie suit? Explain it. Because we've spoken about, you have a military past, you served. Yeah. What is a ghillie suit and what is it used for? And is it an adult version of a bunny suit?
I would not say it's an adult version of a bunny suit.
There goes my military relationship.
When you are, at least in the Marine Corps, scout sniper, they use it as for camouflage with the scout sniper. So when you're going through the training yourself, you have to build your own ghillie suit.
And you build it yourself?
Yeah.
So they give you all the material. What is it's just long, stringy kind of material, right? That like looks camoed and...
Yeah, you take... They don't just give it to you. They kind of make you work for it. But you go out and you get some really heavy, thick canvas that you basically like shoe glue to the front of your camis, top and bottom. And then the back, you hand stitch some netting all over the back of the pants, and then the back part of the blouse. Yeah. And then you take this. It's basically strips of burlap that you cut up, and then you tie it all in there and make it a bunch of different colors so that you can blend into.
Do you use that going forward?
Yeah.
A little risky, someone not putting something together before that. I mean, they may or may not give you away to the enemy.
They're not shy to give you feedback.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, they probably provide them now, but it's kind of a rites of passage when you go through sniper school.
Were you a good shot?
Well, you have to.
You had to be. Like, how good? Like, how far off were you accurate at?
Well, you have to be a rifle expert. So, you're putting just on basic qualification at 500 meters, you're on target like every time. And then to qualify through the sniper course, you have to get, I forget how many rounds on at 1,000 at 1,000 meters.
So 4 to 5 football fields. Essentially accurate at 4 to 5. It's crazy when you start to. So mutual friend, Jason Collard. Remember him from the gym?
Oh yes,
tall guy, great guy.
Yeah, Hunter
and gunsmith. Like makes his own guns and bullets and does all these shooting contests.
Yep.
Some of the numbers that he posts of whoever won it are insane. Yeah. And I started doing a little research. People have hit on like over a mile.
Yeah.
Like over a mile shot.
Yeah.
When like the Earth's rotation comes into play. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Did you ever shoot that long? Obviously, wind, elements, but like, did you ever?
Not at quite a mile.
Yeah.
But, at that point, you're dialing in everything, temperature, wind, trajectory. Usually work with a spotter, like your sniper partner. So they're the ones that are kind of helping you dial it all in.
It's total science, huh?
Yeah.
Do you get spotted by that person, and do you spot for them?
Yeah.
So it's back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's a false on the first one.
Definitely a false.
If $1 million was on the line, you could roll with Gordon Ryan for 45 seconds without being tapped. 45 seconds, $1 million. Could you last?
No.
How long do you think you'd last? 15? As long for him to touch you?
Well, I mean, it would probably take him a few seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, once he got a hold of you,
You're done.
Yeah. He'd throw you into something that he'd submit you very quickly.
He's on my algorithm on YouTube, and I just watched a tournament. I'm sure you've seen this when he walks out with a box and hands it to the judges. It was a world championship tournament. Whoever the guy was, you would know. I don't know his name. And he hands, so cocky.
Yeah.
He hands the box, and inside the box was a note of what he was going to tap out the guy with.
Okay.
And it was an arm bar.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
within 5 minutes, he got him with an arm bar. Then he had him open it up and read it. I was like, good Lord,
Yeah,
dude.
amazing.
Yeah, just no one better.
High skill.
High skill and just a absolute gorilla.
Yeah,
like
totally.
to what, 220, like
Yeah.
215.
He's a big boy. Yep.
Taking more than protein, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You're the true or false? You're the fastest rising acoustic musical star in Sonoma County has seen in decades.
That would be a false. Yeah.
Maybe not fastest, but rising.
Oh, who knows?
You're playing, dude.
I am, yeah.
I was really stoked to hear that.
Yeah.
When we talked about that, music's been a huge outlet for me my entire life. And I know we're going to get into, grief and confronting death and all these heavy topics. And one thing that I've found in my life, whether it's for 5 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever, if I can get away, if I could pick up the guitar, and I move my guitar upstairs now because I wasn't playing it enough, so now I have it upstairs. Now, the downfall to that is my boy just threw a remote control the other day, and there was a 3-inch crack in the bass. I had to go get fixed. But if I could just pick it up, like that's a game changer for me. Agreed. Mentally. Is that what you're using it for?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you writing just to play and be stoked on playing, or are you writing to kind of deal with the grief component and get your words out there in another way?
Yeah. I mean, I've always kind of played, just to learn music and stuff, but never that seriously. And then it has become a great outlet for me in dealing with grief.
Sure.
But that just kind of happened. That wasn't really...
Wasn't the plan?
It wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
No, I didn't really have that plan.
What's the best way it happens, right?
Yeah.
When it's grassroots, happens naturally.
Absolutely.
What are you playing? Like, I know you're writing your own stuff, which is awesome. I can't wait to hear it. Are you covering anything? Is there any artists that you really like that you try to emulate in any way?
I've been really just playing my own stuff.
Good for you. That's hard.
Yeah.
And you said you've been on a writing streak too, which we talked about. Like, I go through waves where I can write, and then there's years where I don't write.
Yeah.
Right? There's like a 2-year period where I just wrote nothing.
Yeah.
And because it's almost a job. You got to I'm writing today. I'm going, and to get through it and then find the rhythm. But all this technology now.
Yes.
What a game changer. Which back in the day, I would, had nothing to record it. Hopefully to remember the rhythm and then the pace. And now you can put it in
There's
whatever.
So much
and,
you can do.
Yeah, you sound like Billy Strings.
It's amazing.
Yeah, unreal. I can't wait to hear you. I can't wait to play with you.
Yeah.
All right, you've graduated to the next level. You are shipwrecked on an island with a record player powered by the sun. You get one vinyl record to have for eternity. What album is it?
I think I kind of always go back to Pearl Jam 10.
I mean, how could you not, dude?
It's just kind of
It's perfect.
It's kind of a great album.
I just listened to it with the kids. I'm bringing the kids into my childhood experience now. So we watched Happy Gilmore and Dumb and Dumber, and I'm playing Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Stone Temple and all that. Mm-hmm. It translates.
Yeah.
They love it.
Yeah.
And that album is an emotional ride, right? Because you're coming in hot, then it's slowing down, then it's speeding up, and lyrics, vocals, everything. Do you play any of that music? Have you tried to cover? Black's a great one.
Yeah, I can play Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, they're good, dude. I had another guy in here that he was so diehard Pearl Jam, and goes to see him every year with his son, and that's their shared experience. His was Yellow Ledbetter, I believe, and there was one other song. But I guess they always close with Yellow Ledbetter. So when you hear that, the show's over.
Yeah, there's some diehards out there. People
Big time.
don't miss the shows, and
yeah, rightfully so. They were talented. You're going on a juice cleanse for 30 days. What's the last meal you eat before it starts?
Last meal. I've heard you asked this question before.
Don't give me any Brussels sprouts or anything like that. Give me don't give me that. Give me a real meal.
Oh my God.
Anything, dude. Get weird.
Yeah.
Do you do fast food at all?
Not really, but I did hear you guys talk about the tacos.
Jack in the Box tacos?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
And I tried them. They're actually really good.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Did I convert you?
You did, yeah.
Brother, those are...
Yeah.
I just spoke last podcast with this girl who has a business in town. Every time I drive... So I have to turn... When I come back home, I go off the freeway at Petaluma, and then I take a right, like I'm going to Payran, but I take the street before, and Jack in the Box.
That's right there.
And I told her, this is the second time I'm saying it, I just stare into the window. It's like a kid at Christmas just staring and believing, right? And then like 2 times a year, 3 times a year, I'll break down.
Yeah.
But I eat so many that I get like literally like physically sick almost for like a day.
Yeah.
So I won't do it again.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
It's a terrible relationship I have.
About 2 of those.
Oh, they're so good, dude.
Yeah.
How's that bag afterwards? Just the clear bag of grease.
I was gonna say, it's very greasy.
It's the worst.
Oh my God.
You got to drown it out with the hot sauce.
You
And
definitely need something for your hands after that.
So you'd say Jack in the Box tacos, or you got something else? Brussels sprout tacos?
You know, I love sushi, so
Okay, that's a good one.
I always go to sushi.
Have you ever been to Sushi by Scratch in Healdsburg?
I have not.
Super special occasion.
Okay.
They've got 8 of them, I think, or 6 of them in the country. We went to one in Austin. They have one in Vegas, New York. Omasaki experience, like 16, 17 courses, super expensive, right? I think it's like $320, $350.
Okay.
But 3-hour experience.
Wow. Okay.
Best sushi you ever will have in your life. Every piece is curated by a different person within that organization, and they're unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, if you ever get a shot on a special occasion, like it would blow your mind. You could live without working in any place in the world for 6 months. Where is it and why?
Probably one of 2 places, either Fiji or Thailand.
Why both? Like why either? Because 2 different places, right?
Yeah.
Fiji's super mellow.
Yeah.
Thailand's got a lot going on.
I think Fiji, you know, it's still such a remote country. Like it really is. You know, it's very, you know, there's still like a king of each tribe on the island, and different kings or queens or whatever they have, you know, in that village. Being next to the ocean, it's just a really chill, relaxing place. Great surf there. I think Thailand, for similar reasons, culturally, food, and then if I was just training for 6 months in jiu-jitsu at a gym or something over there, I think that would be really just
Would you do
nice.
Muay Thai or would you do jiu-jitsu?
I'd probably do some Muay Thai just because.
It'd be cool to learn.
Yeah, just because everyone does it over there.
Yeah.
But I'd just continue training in jiu-jitsu as well.
Those guys are gnarly, man. Their records, when you see, it's like
Yeah.
250 and 12.
Yeah.
It's like by the time they're pros, they have 200, 300, 400 fights in. It's a different beast over there.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Their legs, they're kicking trees, and
Yep.
that lock. What is that Muay Thai lock? What's that like?
Like the clinch.
Yeah. And they're kneeing, and yeah, it's fun to watch. I'm surprised it's not bigger in the U.S.
Well, it's definitely
starting growing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, because it's just all striking. That's what everyone loves.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to the podcast questions. So we're going to go into more detail about Jane, which was just the year anniversary of her death, which I didn't know.
1 year, yep.
Yeah, when I reached out to you, but that just popped up on my timeline. So she had a long battle with MS, and we'll go into that. But I want to start it kind of in the beginning, you know, of your relationship. So, like, tell me the first time you ever met her.
Yeah. So we met, you know, this was early. This was 2010, so early online dating.
Yeah.
Right.
Wild West.
Wasn't really very popular, but I had one of my close friends was like, "Hey, you know, I think you should give it a shot. You know, you've been single." I was like, "Okay, let's go for it." You know, so I went on one date, a coffee date with someone before Jane, and then, I saw her profile, messaged her, and was like, okay, let's get on a call. So I think it was even after that first date I had, I called her that evening, and we talked for like an hour,
On the phone?
Yeah. And she was English. I lived in England. I worked for an English travel company for 11 years. So oddly enough, where she grew up in England was 20 minutes from where I lived, which is not like a really common place.
Yeah.
So she was from Rugby, and I did sales for this travel company in Banbury, but near Oxford, Oxfordshire, whole area is super close. So we just had a lot in common right away. And I was like, even if I'm not, like, I don't like her to date her, she's cool. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet her
Sure.
because I'm excited. So that was like a Wednesday, Thursday, and it was, okay, let's meet on Saturday, and I let her pick. She lived in Marin. I was still way out in Occidental in my little yurt.
Little hut?
Yeah. In the Redwood Grove.
Nice.
And the World Cup was on. So I was way plugged into the World Cup that year too. And of course she was too. Yeah. So we met at Muir Beach. It was packed. It was July 3rd. So it was right on the 4th of
packed,
July.
Yeah.
And
how'd you park?
I know.
There's always that sign on the freeway, like parking full at Muir Woods, Muir Beach. Yeah.
So anyway, I had my dog with me. We met. She was a little late. She's like, I'm really sorry. The game was longer or whatever. And I was battling traffic. But we had it turned into like a 5-hour date of us just talking on the beach, sitting next to each other. My dog was, I don't know, barely a year old. So he just dug a giant hole next to us that someone could have fell into, but next thing you know, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Like, like we should probably go. And then she's like, well, have you ever been to the Pelican Inn? Because it was right there.
The best.
I said, no, I didn't even know what it was. She said, well, it's a little English pub. I was like, perfect. So we went in there and got some dinner.
Guinness stew?
I don't remember.
They always have that there.
I probably had shepherd's pie or fish and chips. I probably had some classic.
Fires on. Even in the summer, probably the fires roaring. They got that dartboard in the back.
Cool.
I mean, that feels, I've never been to England. I could imagine it feels exactly like England.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a great replica of what you'd expect. And then, she was saying, oh, hey, I'm going to go away for 3 weeks. I'm going to England. I'm taking my kids. And I said, okay, that's great. But after we left, I was like, oh, I want to see her again. But I know she's leaving really soon. So
what was she going back for?
Just vacation.
Vacation.
Summer. She always made sure the kids went back and spent time with their grandparents almost every summer.
And what about her in that first 5-hour conversation? Like, what were some of her attributes that were like captivating to you, that drew you in?
We just had so much in common, right? I mean, if it was music, art, film, she at the time had previously been working for the San Francisco International Film Festival, and did a lot of stuff at the San Rafael Independent Theater in San Rafael. So we just connected. And then the World Cup's going on, so we could talk football, soccer.
Yeah.
It just felt really natural. It felt like I just met someone I've known my entire life.
She had a different energy about her too.
And she's super positive.
Super
right?
positive, bubbly.
Couldn't really switch that off. So she's really engaging. She said, so I messaged her. I said, I'd love to see you again. And then she said, okay, let's make that happen. So that Monday we met actually here in Petaluma, had lunch, had a wonderful date, and getting ready to leave. And she's like, hey. I was like, what's up? She's like, can I give you a kiss? I was like, second day? Okay. Like she was the one asking me.
She came up on you, dude. Yeah.
And then she later said, well, I didn't want to go on vacation and be thinking about you the whole time. And then I get back and you're just a terrible kisser.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, really?
She's playing chess.
Totally. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. So then, she takes off. And I mean, at that point, I'm just like, I can't wait for her to get home, you know. And
what a feeling.
I hope this is really going to work. And, and I want to say we may have talked like once or twice and messaged a little bit by email.
How long was she gone?
She was gone for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
But, you know, the whole time it was just like I couldn't wait for her to get back, you know, and that was just 2 dates. And she told me when she got back, it was her birthday. And so I'd said, hey, you know, when you come back, why don't I have you out? I'll cook you dinner, you know, we'll do something special for your birthday. So, you know, I just kind of had to tough it out and wait. But the whole time I was just being more and more drawn into her and thinking about her all the time. So, yeah, when she came back, we had a great night for her birthday and celebrated. And she got to see my little meditation yurt. Yeah. It was a wooden cabin, but it was built as a silent meditation retreat. Yeah. So she just fell in love with it.
The lady lair. Oh, yeah. I mean, if someone can come over to your place and you're living in a yurt and you get another date, like
you got 5 redwood
it's meant to be,
on your deck.
Yeah. So she comes back, you have that date. You know, something you've shared with me in the past, and I'll ask if at this point you knew that. First 3 weeks you didn't know Jane had MS. By the time you're building this picture of who she is in your head, because you only, I mean, 5 hours is great, but you don't know about a person in 5 hours, right? Yeah. So I know the human mind goes and imagines, and what if this and this and that, and what if we do this? And by the time she gets back, do you know that she has MS by the time she gets back from England?
Yeah, so she had a blog that she did that I found online. Yeah. Right?
A little cyber stalking.
Yeah. Well,
it's not frowned upon in dating world.
I don't even remember how I found it, but because I knew she was really into yoga, and she had like her own yoga page. And so, you know, I think I was trying to find that. And then I found her blog where she talks about MS and really talked a lot about it. And it kind of broke my heart that when I found out, because I'm like, okay, you know, she'd been divorced for 2 years by then, single mom, 2 years divorced, has MS.
How old were the kids at that point?
The kids were...
She has 2 kids as well, which is another factor, right?
Yeah, the kids were 8 and 10, I believe. Yeah,
not easy ages though.
No.
Come into their lives.
And I was like, oh, this has got to be so hard for her to put herself out there and start dating, you know, with this stuff that she's got to deal with. And so I was like, I probably wouldn't have told me that right away until it was like, hey, is this really real?
Yeah, it's a big topic to broach.
So I knew by the time she had her birthday and I had her over for dinner. So I wrote her this letter and I basically just said, hey, you know, I know you have MS and that's okay. And it's going to make me emotional.
It's okay. Get emotional, man.
I was like, look, I'm in it. I knew by then I was already in. I was like totally sold.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, we'll see how this goes. Because at the time, you know, you couldn't tell she had MS. I mean, there were no visual symptoms. So we didn't know, like, what did that mean? You know, does that mean...
Did you research it? Online? Because that's something I would dive into pretty heavy.
I did, but you know, still, like everyone's journey is so different. I mean, I know people that they've had MS for 50 years and they're still getting around.
I know someone now who's a firefighter. He's had MS for 12.
Right. Yeah. So it's such an individual thing, but you know, I just said, hey, I'm here. You know, I'm not going anywhere. I'm totally fine with you having MS, and I think we should just keep working on this together. And
what was her reaction? Was there a component of her? I'm sorry to jump in front of you, but like the thing that's it's 2 fascinating portions of what you're saying. One, you knowing, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, and still leaping, right? Which I think the majority of men would not. Yeah, I could say comfortably. And then the second component is with her, because she is a very intelligent, very thoughtful, very thought out human being. Did she have some component of like guilt of her being like, hey, like,
Yeah.
this could be a path, right? If we keep going, like this could get hard. Was there any conversation like that? Or was it, let's live in the moment now within our feelings and this energy?
Yeah, no, it was, it felt natural.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I don't know. Are you sure?
Sure.
That was never
Never a question.
no. Yeah. And I think she was relieved, right? That it wasn't something she had to tell me about. I already knew.
Yeah.
But it was natural.
Was there no hesitation for you?
No.
And the reason why I keep on asking these questions is because it's based on me and my thought process, and you want to say in that situation as a human being that if you found a woman that you loved and it was a connection, that you would explore that connection.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, it would not have been that easy. And probably the most likely outcome, if it was me, would be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? Which is terrible to say with me hearing it. But I mean, you're a young man. You don't have kids. She has kids.
Yeah.
You don't have something that's going to slowly take away health. She does. That's a lot to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah. I mean, at that stage, I think I was 40, right? So
a little bit more wisdom.
Yeah. And I knew, from growing up with a single mom that, even on the kid factor, like, I'm not going to mess around unless I'm really into her.
Yeah, you're not going to waste her emotion.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm not, or the kids. And,
yeah.
And, we did wait like several months before I ever met the kids.
Sure.
So just to keep it kind of like, hey, we don't have people coming in and out of their lives.
Yeah.
But I felt like I knew like this was going to be a long-term thing. Like it wasn't.
Did it ever creep back in after the decision of you guys, hey, we're moving forward, we're going to date? Did the thought of MS or the road ahead ever creep back into your head and cast any doubt? Or was it,
no,
I'm locked in, I'm dug in.
Yeah.
Let's see where we can take it.
Yeah, never.
Is that your personality?
I don't know.
Yeah. Or is that or was it the chemistry?
I think it was the chemistry.
Got it. Yeah. So that's not necessarily who you are as it is who you are as a human being because you did it, but it was more like, hey, this chemistry is so strong, it is overshadowing any
100%
possible doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you taken that into any other aspect of your life? Have you ever had a decision before where because it's a selfless decision for you, in my opinion, it's a very selfless decision, right? Have you ever been in any other situation where it's like, or that was the one?
I don't know. I think this is the one because I felt like the certainty involved. Like I was 100% certain that this was what I wanted to do, and who I wanted to be with. And, I was engaged probably 4 years before to someone. It didn't work out for many reasons, and that's okay. But I wasn't like live and die by the sword with that person.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't just going to ride it out just because I was in this committed relationship.
It was Jane then.
Yeah, it was 100% Jane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What other components of her personality or energy meshed so well with yours? Like, why do you think it worked so well? You guys are different.
Yeah. I think, there's just a lot that we aligned on, like especially like her parenting style. Right. I mean, that was a big part of our life, a huge part of our life, is how we parented, how we just looked at the world, our views on things. We aligned on almost everything. Sometimes we didn't always, of course, natural, but we just had a ton in common.
Yeah.
We could talk about anything together, and truly enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah.
You can't always say that with everyone, that you really align in so many ways.
Yeah, and if you're aligning on 80, 90%, that's pretty strong. So you guys jump in, this relationship starts to bud and blossom.
Yep.
How far down the line after you guys are in this, relationship together and committed, do symptoms within Jane start to adjust or increase or become more noticeable?
Yeah. So, You would see it when there was stress. It was very stress related, and her fatigue and her ability to walk you would notice that, right? And the typical symptom for MS is when people are walking, and usually when they realize that, like, hey, I need to figure out if I have something going on with me, is one of their feet will start to drag. It's called drop foot. It's a very common symptom of MS. It's those neural pathways start to get blocked, and you can't fully signal to get, to walk normal. So one foot typically will start to drag a little bit, or someone will notice they're tripping more. It'll be something really subtle, like, oh, I just tripped. Oh, I just tripped again. Where it becomes repetitive, and then they realize, well, this is getting a little bit worse. This isn't just me tripping all the time. Something's happening with my foot. But she already knew that. She was diagnosed with MS in 2001. So by then, she was 9 years in, and she was managing her symptoms really pretty well. I think when we moved, so we ended up moving in together within 8 months or something.
Was that Horseshoe Bay?
No. So that was West Petaluma.
Okay.
We rented a place from Tony Nagioli from Central Market.
Oh, nice.
His Muleheart Farm.
Yeah.
So we moved into his place first. That was right before Horseshoe Bay. And did the moving, right? Like, we're moving, it's super stressful, and her fatigue just kind of shut her body down. And that was the first time I'd probably seen it at that level, right, where she couldn't really get up or stand up, and it was fine. It was like, okay, you just take it easy and rest, right? But that was really when I started to notice it. And then it would have been, we're going for walks and distances or anything like that is where you'd start to notice it. And then, when there's stress-related things, her fatigue obviously comes out more, so she's needing to rest more.
Well, what a tough disease for her. Is it characterized as a disease? Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah.
What a tough disease for her, because she's so strong-willed. Mm-hmm. She was so strong-willed.
Yeah.
So there is no give up.
No.
Where other people would be like, hey, I'm rested. I'm not going to do that. I need a day off. Yeah. That's just not her personality.
No.
Yeah, she digs in and fights harder.
Yeah.
So it had to be a constant battle, right? Because mentally she was not weakening, right? She was there, but the body was.
Yeah, yeah. And then as her condition progressed, it was always challenging because she would want to do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if it was on a vacation or people were visiting, and I'd have to be like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
This is not realistic. We can't pack all of this in because I know how this is going to go.
Which she needed that balancing factor in her life. Yeah.
Yep.
So as it got more challenging through the years, right? Mm-hmm. What did you do to keep normalcy within the relationship? As she was struggling and you saw her struggle, especially towards the later years, right? Where it was a battle. Every day was a battle. Every movement was a battle. What did you do to keep normalcy within your relationship?
Yeah. I think, there's so many kind of layers to that because, number one, I think we both I tried to encourage her to stay as mobile as possible, right? So I kind of knew, and she knew this too, that if she started using a wheelchair right away,
you just give up.
Right.
Mentally.
You're going to start losing all those abilities. So we really tried to do things that kept her active as much as we could within during times where we would see her disease progress. And so I just tried to really keep this optimistic perspective that I was always looking for something else that might help her.
Which you would constantly get, because I remember talking to people, hey, we bought this machine.
Yeah, and we did a lot.
One that shook.
Yeah.
So you guys always were on the forefront of technology to
tried to
improve her physical nature.
And I think even that's when I reached out to you about CrossFit. I was like,
which you did.
And it was amazing.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
And at a point when she came in, there was physical deficiencies there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was apparent. It wasn't everything, but it was apparent.
Yeah.
And that's where that strong-willed shit came in, because I'd be like, no. And she'd be like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we started doing it at home, and we kind of chronicled, like, I can't even remember how many weeks of these like workouts that we were doing.
I remember.
There was a lot of tears involved in that.
I'm sure.
That was tough. But, you know, by the end of it, I mean, I still have a video of her like running like 25 meters.
I think you sent that to me at one point.
Run,
yeah.
you know, and all of a sudden, after so many weeks of her doing like these little CrossFit workouts and stuff, she's able to actually run across the, you know.
What a win mentally.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So really just tried to do that, tried to keep her out of the wheelchair as much as possible. But then once she actually started teaching, stress comes back into it.
And that was a tough situation.
Yeah.
She was at a tough school.
She started out at a tough school.
Farther away.
She did.
There was traffic. There was student population issues.
Yeah. They were really tough.
It was a tough place.
Tough. Yeah. And she, and I remember her calling me during the week that she was meeting with all the faculty before school. Or she sent me a text and she said, there's no AC.
Yeah.
And as soon as she said that, I mean, my jaw dropped, because
She can't be hot. Yeah.
you don't have a thermostat, right? You don't sweat. You can't regulate your own temperature. So she's sitting there in this classroom. She doesn't want to tell anyone that she has MS either, because she's worried about that too.
The stigma
so
of
she's
it.
like burning up in this environment. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is horrible for her. It broke my heart to hear that. And then it wasn't long after where I was like, okay, honey, we gotta find something else for you. This isn't good. And then, you know, synchronistically, she got a call from Napa Unified School District, and they said, hey, we're looking for an English teacher at a middle school. And it was like, okay, let's get her over there as soon as we could. So, yeah.
So within those components of her path of MS, which doesn't get better, right? It continues to get worse. Were there moments, because she is so strong-willed and positive, but then I don't see behind closed doors and I don't see the true battle. Were there breaking moments in her where you would kind of reel her back in?
All the time.
Yeah. How would you do it? Just conversations?
Yeah. I mean, it got, you know, it's the thing that I always struggle with even now is you're watching someone slowly have things taken away from them, you know, so they're losing their ability to do everything they love. You know what I mean? Like, it's just all slowly being taken away from them. And so really just trying to be optimistic and positive as much as I can, you know, and supportive, right? Like, this is what we're dealing with. This is kind of what we have to do if we're going to keep going, you know. And that was really hard to watch. And that was really hard to sit by and watch. You know, and I encouraged her to do things too. You know, when we're in Minnesota, I got her to do some adaptive skiing, which was great. She didn't like it as much as I thought she would. You know,
is that with the 3 skis, like one in front and 2? Yeah.
I got her out there a couple times. I'm like, let's get her a ski.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
Let's keep her out in the snow. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. But she did get involved with an online yoga community that really changed her life. And so once she got to the point where she was wheelchair bound, that was probably where it got the darkest for her. You know, we were in Minnesota during that time, and
which is already a tough environment, midwinter, right?
Tough environment.
Don't know anybody. Everything's frozen. Yeah, it's not easy to get around.
Not easy to get around. She doesn't know anyone. She doesn't have her own core group of friends. They're all back here in California.
That's tough.
Right? So then through physical therapy, she finds this yoga community. And the guy who started it, it's a nonprofit. It's called Mind Body Solutions. His name's Matthew Sanford. He's a very well-known yogi amongst yogis, not just the adaptive or disabled community. He's really well known. And, you know, when she first started doing these classes, and they're based in Minnesota, and, you know, she'd kind of mention it. I thought, oh, you know, it's great, you know. And then as the conversations started happening more and more, she's like, no, like, this is really an amazing community. I'm actually making some friends here. And she was telling me that he was having them getting to these yoga poses like inversions and headstands and stuff, which they, you know, weren't physically doing. But she said, I was doing a headstand. Like the way he teaches the classes, it's insane. It was like an out of body experience. And she just fell in love with that community and eventually started teaching. And of course they connected right away because she's one of the few people that practiced yoga, was a yoga instructor before she was in a wheelchair. He didn't learn yoga until he was, you know, until he was in his 20s, and he'd been paralyzed since he was young. You know, he was in a car accident.
Yeah.
So they could speak kind of the same language, you know. Mm-hmm. They both understood each other really well and had an instant friendship right away. It was really cool. And it really changed her perspective just on the way she looked at things and her outlook on life at that point. Yeah. You know, which most people didn't see because she's so positive naturally.
Yeah.
Right? Which is what you would have seen.
And she commits to, like, anything that she does. She always had a goal or a project.
Yeah.
Whenever I would talk to her, it was, hey, we're creating these videos around working out, or hey, I'm thinking about writing a book about that, or hey, you know, but it was like this.
Always.
Yeah. But what an amazing thing for someone who's experiencing what she's experiencing, you know, physically, to have that next focus or goal to take focus off your current, I guess, challenges. Yeah. Right. And she was, and when she talked about the passion that she had for each thing, like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what it's going to do. It wasn't maybe. Yeah. It was, this is it. I mean, there was a serious strength there.
Totally.
So Jane passes about a year ago. Yeah. I went to the celebration of life.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Oh my God. No bullshit. The most heartwarming and amazing celebration of life I've ever been. Most people just say that to everyone they're talking to. I've been in a number of celebrations of life and funerals. I've never been to one where I felt the person was there. And the way that you structured that thing, when you had her sing the Beatles song, was it Let It Be? It was a Beatles song.
Yeah. Well, so she,
What song was that? Am I remembering that wrong? It was either Let It Be, All You Need Is Love.
All You Need Is Love, yeah.
So she comes on. No.
Yeah.
You put the audio of her up, and she's singing All You Need Is Love, and the entire place sings with her.
Yeah, you're kind of right.
Am I kind of right?
Yeah. So what I didn't realize is that she wrote what she wanted to happen, right?
That as well.
Celebration of life.
That as well, which I love.
So we played the video of she and I playing together because she's a great singer.
I remember that.
But she said she wanted the song to be played.
Yeah.
So I played the song and we all sang it together.
I thought she sung that song.
There's a poem that she wrote, like, her last wish.
And it was her voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm mixing up. But there was this feeling within that celebration, beyond the speeches, right? And everyone talking, but she was so integrated into it, right? Through technology.
Yeah.
But it was just just an amazing event. You know, me and my wife both, we walked away, we drove home, and we just both looked at each other. We've never been involved in something like that before. You know,
certainly a first time for me.
Sure. Yeah. And you handled it so well.
Thank you.
With your organization and everything. I mean, that's the hardest thing in the world to do with her family.
It just kind of organically came together. Like, I didn't really know, you know, I I think even the week before I started putting together all these photos of her and trying to come up with music choice and write what I'm going to say, and I didn't really know. It all just started to happen. And then, of course, you know, she was a writer and she wrote and poems and different things. And then I'm like, I find things that she didn't even tell me about on her phone because we didn't really look on each other's phones, but we had access. You know,
yeah.
like,
I mean, why would you?
Need something. So then I was like, oh, that's right. She wanted me to read this thing at her celebration of life, and then, you know, like things just kind of started to happen. Yeah, it was. I couldn't have been more happy that it turned out the way it did, and I don't know how it did, but it did. So,
well, I mean, from an outsider looking in, it's two perspectives. It's you and the love you had for her in the organization, in the setup, and then it's the people who loved her. Everyone who was there for her, were at her standards. At her standards of a human being, at her standards of personality, at her standard. And it was so evident when everyone would come up and rotate and talk, or if you talk to people in the crowd, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a ball of energy.
Yeah.
You know, it was a ball of appreciation for her.
Yeah.
A ball of sadness that she was lost, but then also like this woman deserves to be celebrated. And like the stories you heard about, I mean, just such strong-willed, such a fierce young woman.
Yeah.
You know, with all the old dancing pictures and play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were blown away.
Yeah.
So you get through that, which that's heavy, right?
Yeah.
So that's like all the reflection, all these pictures, all the writing. You know, you got to battle that. After that's done, I would assume like the true grief starts to set in because you don't have a distraction at that point. I know it sets in immediately.
Yeah.
But like then you really have to confront it.
Yeah.
Right? There's no we're planning this and everyone, it's like, this is my life now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, from the time she passed away, it didn't really change a lot. Like, and people would say that, you know, oh, you know, after this point, you know, you're not going to get the calls, or this isn't going to happen. It's going to get harder. It didn't really get harder. It just maintained, which I had never experienced that before. You know, I've had a lot of loss in my life, but not at such an intense level. And, you know, usually when someone passes away after a few weeks, you know, you kind of like, you start to feel yourself get back to normal. And this just didn't change. It just stayed. And I think as I got close to the 6-month mark, that's when I was the most surprised by all of it. Because, and I remember hitting 6 months, I mean, I just fell apart again. Like, I felt like it was, all I could think about was being back in England for her actual memorial service, and how emotionally raw I was. And I was, my mind just kind of exploded with this thought of, how can I have such intense grief right now, 6 months later? Like, I'm back at her memorial service. And that's exactly what it felt like. And that was something I never expected. Right. And that's when I started writing. You know, I was at this like rock bottom moment in the morning. My stepdaughter, Emily, had made a post to Jane. And, I mean, it just came out. I couldn't stop for a couple of hours probably. And then by the time I could clear my eyes, I started writing. And then
music or just writing?
Lyrics.
Yeah.
And then I just kept writing. And I think, you know, probably like 6 hours later, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I wrote a song, you know, like, okay, at least something's coming out of all this sadness.
What did you write? Like, what's the theme of the song?
Yeah, it's about, the song is about, going back 6 months. Like, it feels like it was yesterday. And like how how heartbroken I was, and like how intense those feelings are. It just really caught me off guard. We talked a lot about grief, and Jane, amazingly enough, was very well prepared.
I can only imagine.
She
wrote
had
your celebration of life. I can imagine she prepared you in certain ways,
she,
whether you
she
knew
tried.
it or not.
She tried. I think she thought it was going to be a lot easier for me than it has been.
How did she try?
Optimistically.
Like, what are things that she said to put you at ease?
Well,
not at ease.
Yeah. She already had like a spiritual grief counselor that she was working with, that I met with a few times, and that she had set up for both of the kids, Emily and Elliot. And, I remember we were listening to like, Anderson Cooper's like his grief podcast that he does with a lot of celebrities.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
It's a really famous one.
I thought you were going to talk about the ball dropping. Isn't he the one that always announces?
Probably.
Yeah,
it's a really good, he's been through a lot of grief himself with two losses in his life, his mother and I think his brother. It's called like, what is it called? It's like, anyway, it's really well known. He's had a lot of celebrities on there and just people that have dealt with grief. And, but listening to that back then was really good, but it's not the same as it is now.
Yeah.
Right. Like now when I listen to it, I understand it and really where they're coming from, those places of grief that they're coming from.
Yeah.
Where I feel like you don't really know how bad it is until you're in it.
So there is no preparation.
I don't think you can fully prepare for it. I just don't think you can, because it's way worse than I ever imagined.
What did she say to put you at ease? Like in your toughest moment, like I can imagine when like, she's struggling and you're watching it and she could see you watching it and she could see your emotion. Did she ever say anything to you to try to put you at ease in those moments, or or was it shifting the subject in that moment? Like, or did you live in that moment?
I think we both did a really good job of being the counterbalance, right? So if she was struggling, I would try to be positive and supportive, and she was really good flipping that around, But she would say things like, like, I know you're going to like, especially with the gym, right? She'd be like, the gym is going to be so great for you. You have this, she just gave me a lot of reassurance. The kids are both great. They're both, on the right path. They're doing well in their careers or in school.
You did a good job with them.
Yeah.
You're a huge part of that.
Yeah. So she just kind of always tried to keep this optimistic, like, hey, down the road, you're going to be totally fine. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not, So I don't know if I remember like a defining moment of her doing that, but she just, she's like, I want you to be happy. I don't want you to be stuck here just thinking about me the rest of your life. I want you to be able to move on at some point. And I'm like, yeah, but we can't talk about that right now. Like, that's just not a thing.
How are you? So that's with her assistance, right?
Yeah.
That's the preparation. What do you do to confront the most challenging moments now? So we spoke the other day and you said you were in the store and I think there was a product that she got all the time that you saw, which triggered you back in.
Yeah.
Right? To that cycle.
Sure.
What do you do now in those moments?
Yeah. I mean, those things aren't hitting me as hard as they were.
Okay.
Right. But they're all over the place. I mean, it's the car she drove, right? Or, you just see those things all the time, right? And all the reminders. Early on, I did some grief counseling through the VA. And then because Jane was part of hospice, they offered grief counseling. I didn't necessarily do that. But I did do a bunch of work through some grief workbooks and just tried to process and understand it really. I guess I try not to fight myself in terms of like being emotional. Right. And so
You just let the emotion come out when it needs to.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sometimes, yeah, but I do. Yeah. I don't really try to fight it. And the interesting thing is that I've found is one, you get a lot of unsolicited advice on how to deal with grief.
I'm sure.
Right. And
From people who've been through grief or from people who haven't, because that's the hard one.
yeah, usually people that have been through it, you can just feel that they understand. They don't even have to say much, and they're not going to tell you. Like,
So it's from people who have, because that's always the toughest thing. I know when anyone passes away in my life and I talk to their loved ones, the one thing I tell myself not to say
yeah,
is, hey, I know what you're going. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Like you never do. Even if you've been through death 10 times.
yeah,
You don't know that situation and what they're going through. And that would, for me, rub me the wrong way.
yeah, yeah.
You know?
You do get a lot of that, like, hey, things are going to get better. Look
Yeah,
on the bright side.
exactly.
You know.
And I get it.
Yeah.
I know you try and stay positive.
The intention's good.
The intention's good.
You don't really need to offer advice. Like you can just be there and just acknowledge that someone's having a hard time, and that's enough.
And that's huge advice. I listened to a podcast about a year ago, and in the podcast, there was actually an MMA fighter, Sean Strickland,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
like Mr. Tough Guy.
Totally.
Rough childhood.
Yeah.
And he's being interviewed
Yeah, by Theo.
Yeah. And that moment when he starts crying and he can't handle himself, and Theo says, hey, I'll just sit here with you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I reflect on that moment all the time.
And that's really a very true thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is why that was kind of a special moment.
Oh, it's
captured, right?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very real. The other thing I find to be really interesting too is, I remember someone saying this to me before Jane passed away, and they were talking about a friend who had been in a similar situation, had lost a wife, and they'd said, "Oh, my friend his wife passed away, and it's been a year, and he's a mess. He's really still emotional." And it kind of struck me like, that's okay. Like that's okay that he is still emotional.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything, of course. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is
So it was said like, hey, why isn't he past it yet? That was the angle of the conversation?
Implied. It wasn't said. And so I think what happens is, people will say, oh, you gotta be in grief. You gotta grieve. You gotta go through this. But then when they actually see you grieving, it's uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sure.
So then they don't really want to see you grieve. So then they'll be like, oh, I'm really worried about you because I saw you were emotional.
Yeah.
But then when you're not emotional, then they're worried about you.
So
Do you know what I mean?
It's like lose-lose.
It's kind of a lose-lose.
Yeah.
Right? In that sense where you're like, hey, if I'm going to be vulnerable around you, like it's a good thing.
Sure.
Right? If I'm going to let my emotions go while you're near me, well, I'm just being true to honoring myself and the grief that I'm in. And you can be okay with that. It's okay. I'm doing okay. Right? I'm okay. You're just seeing this side of me versus me just park it away and not see it at all. There's no wrong or right. And I think people need to understand that a little bit better, is that we're all going to go through it totally differently.
And it's a compliment to the relationship.
For sure.
Of who's in the room if you're willing to let down and let them know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good take on.
Yeah.
Because those situations are tough.
Yeah.
For both parties.
Yeah. It's funny. I was teasing one of my buddies because I was like, I'm starting to keep a list of all the weird things people say.
Bring it back. Remember 4 years ago?
Yeah. And my favorite is when people are like, just be kind to yourself. And I'm like, what does that even mean?
That's every day. Yeah, well, that's like a goal every day.
To do with that.
Yeah.
Like, how else I'm going to be? I don't know. I mean, I get it.
Yeah. Don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah. But I'm just like, it is all meant in good, faith and from a place of goodness. But sometimes it doesn't hit very well.
Sure, especially in abundance when you're hearing it multiple times. And it's,
Yep.
Well, is there anything you do like daily, monthly, weekly to kind of keep Jane's spirit alive in your life? Is there things that you personally do?
Yeah.
Because I also think there's some positive. It's not all negative, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's not all sadness.
Right.
Some of those memories are great. Well, most of them are great.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is, and I go back to this a lot, is that with our relationship, we went through, one of the most challenging things you could ever go through in a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. You're watching someone slowly lose all these abilities and have all these health issues and lose all the things they love to do. But I don't think about those things when I think about our relationship. I think about all of the amazing things we did together and how much we loved each other. Mm-hmm. And that is at the forefront of my mind all the time. I'll get sad when I think about her and not being able to live the life she wanted to live necessarily, right? But when I think about us as a couple, I have zero regrets on any of it. Like I think about it all in the best sense that you could ever hope for. So it's really weird when you think about it like that. Like I'm not thinking about how challenging it was all the time. But to go back to your question, I think about her every day. So, I will do things to honor her, like I'll go to the beach because we love to go to the beach together.
What beach? Any specific one?
Well, just on her anniversary, I went to Muir and I went to Stinson.
Yeah.
Because Muir is where we first met, obviously, and then Stinson. And we probably spent more time at Stinson because we could go for longer walks there. Mm-hmm. And, we ended up getting her a pretty sweet wheelchair that she could take on the beach.
Oh, like the 4-wheel rider ones?
It's not 4-wheel, but it's
like big
super
meaty
mobile.
tires.
Yeah. So that was a game changer.
Yeah.
So, and even just going for walks, it gives me a lot of time to reflect on her and our relationship. But yeah, she's in my thoughts every day. I mean, it's hard not to think about her.
Do you see that going from, we can't tell the future, right? But do you see that as just, that's normal life for you going forward? Yeah. It's just a part that you're going to have to wake up and whether it's positive or negative, deal with going forward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the crazy thing is, right, it's a year later and it hasn't really changed.
Yeah. It's still sharp as ever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. In your mind, is that could be looked at two ways. That could be looked at as a you're bearing that.
Yeah.
Right? That's on your shoulders, and it could also kind of seem that you had such a love and such a strong relationship in your life that this is just the after product of that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so more that she was an amazing human being and
totally.
So much about how I think of the world and the way I look at things are all, were based off of a lot of her influences, so she just feels like she's a part of the world now.
Yeah.
That she's still there. We just can't see her in physical form.
Sure.
So
if you had any advice for anybody who's going through a similar situation, which, sure you can find 100 people in this town who are. Being that you just went through a year of your own grieving process, what's a good starting point for someone who has just been brought into, a grieving or challenging situation with loss?
Yeah. I guess it's just, you just have to just roll with it, try to let all your emotions go. Don't try to hold it in, right? Because I've seen that too, where you just kind of pack it away and then it's months or years later where all of a sudden you're finally dealing with it. if you can find a grief counselor that you feel really comfortable with, and that seems to work for you, then I would encourage that. Or don't be afraid to talk about it, or how you're feeling or how you're doing. It's really easy to want to make people happy and just kind of put on a smiley face all the time. I've gotten very, very, I want to say, good with saying I'm okay. And to me,
instead of just reverting to I'm good.
Yeah, because I've always thought this, like, way before any of this, like, when you say you're okay to me, that signals you're not okay.
100%.
Right? That means you're just hanging in there.
And I love when people are honest in those situations.
Yeah.
You've seen The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Which is my number one movie of all time. And there's a scene in there and he's asked, like, how you doing, dude? And he goes, not too good, man.
Yeah.
And it's like that honesty that you never hear that.
Yeah.
Right? No one ever tells you right off the bat, like, I'm not doing great.
Yeah.
But it can be an important catalyst for a conversation to help both parties.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and that it was uncomfortable to say that at first. Like, I'm just naturally going to be like, oh, I'm doing good, and it's like, well, I'm not actually doing good, if you really want to know.
Yeah.
I'm just doing okay. I'm getting through the day, kind of thing.
What's their reactions in those moments? Everyone's different, but all in all, are they
pretty understanding?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. People are, I think, overall are generally pretty understanding of that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of your support system now, to transition a little bit, is your gym.
Yeah.
Right? And what a gift.
Yeah.
In terms of a timing of starting a business in a passion of something you love. And then I was a gym owner. I know what a community can do. I know how a community can support. You're seeing similar faces. You're going in, you're feeding off energy.
Yeah.
People who want to be there and want to be there for you. So tell me about the gym and how it's going, and like how that's also helped in this process of grief.
For sure. Yeah. So rewind, going back, I've always kind of known, once I started training in jiu-jitsu, that was 2019, that once I stepped on the mats, all the stresses of the world seemed to disappear for that hour or whatever amount of time. So I kind of have always felt like it was my own kind of therapy, so to speak. So once I opened the gym, and again, Jane was a huge influence in me doing that. She kind of knew, like, okay, this is going to be really good for you as well. Like, this is going to help you take your mind off things, right? Help build a community. I also can't take away the fact with the gym, right? And my mindset around it is based on a lot of the ways that you ran your gym when you had 38 North. When I found that gym, was the first time I'd met such a tight, bonded group of people outside of a work environment. And I thought, this is amazing. Mike has done an incredible job of getting people to interact with each other, be open and social. And you're also doing some hard work in here too, right? So that makes you bond even more. So with the gym, I kind of always hung on to that idea. Like, I'd love to open a jiu-jitsu gym where I could bring a community of people together, and people are actually becoming friends outside of just training together. And that's really what's happened, which I love to see. Those are my my proud dad moments are when someone new comes into the gym and everyone introduces themselves without me even saying anything. They just keep it all super social and really warm and friendly, because jiu-jitsu gyms can be super intimidating, right? It's easy to come in there and that if people aren't very warm and friendly, you're just like, I don't know if this is my spot, right? So I really wanted to create a space that, made people feel like, okay, yeah, I feel like I could make some friends in here, and that kind of vibe.
Is that what it feels?
It does.
A year later, 2 years later? 3 years?
We're going on 2 in November.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. And the population's growing.
Population's growing. Yep. Little by little. You know, it's the classic, like.
Well, it's a gym.
Yeah.
Give and take, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Someone signs up.
For sure.
Someone, you know, quits or moves on.
Yeah.
You know, I think I have 25 kids, and that program just keeps growing, which is great.
That's the program, man. That's the moneymaker.
And the kids are great. I mean, you know, they can be challenging, but they're really a lot of fun. And overall, I try to keep it balanced between having a level of discipline on the mats and then also trying to make sure they have some fun, right? I feel like,
that's the Lord's work, dude, coaching kids jiu-jitsu. I watch, so my oldest is in jiu-jitsu over at Rolling Oaks. Yeah. And I watch, you know, when they got classes of, you know, sometimes they get up to 10 to 12 and they got 2 guys in there and, you know, every kid's going every which way.
Yeah.
But the confidence that you're instilling in these kids, like what you're doing right now and how it's going to affect their life and mold and change their life forever. It's a lot of power, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not just, hey, they're coming in to have fun for an hour or learn technique for an hour. You're literally changing the confidence of a young human being who, if they stick with it for 3, 4, 5 years, I mean, they're going to be different humans after that.
And I usually notice a difference after about 5 or 6 weeks behaviorally. You know, sometimes if they come in and they're having a lot of issues, maybe they have ADHD or they're just having a hard time paying attention. After about 5 or 6 weeks, if they're consistent, right, you definitely tell a difference. They're listening, they're getting excited because they know the movements, right? They're more competitive, they're more athletic. It's really fun to watch. To see their progress. Yeah, it's great.
So, like, what are you most proud about that gym after 2 years? Like, what's something that stands out to you? Maybe it was a goal that you were trying to build, or maybe it just, you know, organically happened. But what is something that you're most proud about in the last 2 years?
You know, honestly, I think it's when I see my gym members become friends with each other and then they're spending time outside of the gym.
It's everything, right? Man.
You know, like we have a crew of women that have all become super tight and we're always trying to, you know, build up the female membership, right? And of course the guys as well. I absolutely love seeing that, right? Because then to me, that's like my goal of like building a community is working.
Yeah.
You know, we've had some guys compete and they've done really well. You know, one, he trained with Rolling Oak for a long time and then he just ended up switching. Kevin Garrett, great guy. You know, I can't take credit for his success, but it was really nice to see him as a white belt go out and really just put on a performance. He won both gi and no gi every
good
match.
For him, man.
And it was cool. We had the coaches from Rolling Oak were there, and you know. So
was it that last one about a month ago?
It's a few months ago now.
Yeah. There's a kid we're really good family friends with. Lindsay's like her cousin, like not real cousins, but they call each other cousins. That's the mom.
Oh, okay.
His kid Waylon.
Oh yeah.
Flint.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
dude.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. Yeah.
16 years old, like 6'1", 185, 190 pure muscle, and won that tournament, I believe.
That's great. Yeah. I don't think this was that tournament. This was in Stockton.
Yeah.
But we got one of their coaches who Kevin trained under a lot to belt him at the comp.
Oh, no way.
So
was it Brent or?
It was Jack.
Jack, yeah. I don't know Jack.
Yeah. He's evening coach, but phenomenal coach.
Cool.
I mean, they're all good. They have great coaches.
Yeah, it's a great environment. They do a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that relationship of you know what you or the relationships that piggyback off what you built. I mean that is hands down. When I reflect on my experience as a gym owner over a decade, the health gains are great, right? When people change the way they look, gain confidence, get stronger, you know, compete, all those things are great. But to see people become friends, to see people become partners,
Yeah.
get married, have
Yeah.
kids, and still now, like we're done 4 or 5 years, 5 years now we've been out, to still see people. I mean, I just, I was butter and eggs, or not this last butter and eggs, something else. Like Omar and Troy came up together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Ah, man,
Yeah.
it's just like, that's what it is.
Yeah. I just
That is a community.
I went out with those guys the other night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, for Omar's birthday.
Nice.
That was great.
Oh yeah, I think you must have been I called him on that, and he was with everybody. He was out. Did you guys go to Old Kaz?
No, we went
Okay,
to
he was at Old Kaz when I called
the
him.
Italian place.
Nice.
It was just last Friday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
He's a great dude. Both
Yeah.
those guys are rock solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if there's anything. I don't think there's anything bigger than that. Like, and have you used that community? Like, this is probably the last question I'll ask, but like, have you? Because it combines both. Have you used that community that you've built to lean on in these times of grief? Like when you are struggling, when there is a tougher day,
Yeah.
how does that community help balance you out? Or does it?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say lean on. 'Cause
Okay.
It's just,
The relationships, not the
yeah.
community, the relationships,
Yeah.
the people.
yeah. Yeah. My coaches have definitely helped me a
Yeah.
lot, right? And I've definitely had to lean on them.
In what way?
Covering classes
Yeah.
and, more of that stuff. Like,
Just
hey,
day-to-day running.
I've got to go, I've got to go to a funeral or an event, or even, unfortunately, Jane's mother just passed away as well. So
Yeah, you were telling me
that's happening too. So we're heading back to England again in a week and a half.
How are the kids doing with it?
They're doing okay as they can be. They both were able to spend time with her, leading up to her passing away, their grandmother. But so that was amazing that happened timing wise. But it's a tough one. Their whole childhood has been going to England in the summers and spending time at this little English cottage. And, I feel like that's all going to change now,
Yeah.
right? So it's an end of an era for them.
It's all a loss for 2 kids
Yeah.
in the last year.
Yeah,
you know?
grandfather, mom,
Yeah.
now their grandmother.
Yeah.
Kind of in about 3.5 years.
That's
It's
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you have leaned on those coaches in
Yeah.
terms of like coverage and
Yeah.
to free
Yeah.
you up to deal with what you got to deal with too.
Totally.
Which
Yeah.
we all need.
Yeah.
But I would almost think it's insurmountable to go back into the world after a loss like that and not have something to go to.
Yeah.
Like the gym or.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the plans for the future of the gym? Keep building, trying to expand the kids program, trying to expand the adults program.
Yeah.
Like what do you guys have going?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have always try to expand the kids program, and I just need to advertise it more. I haven't really done much advertising at all around our kids program. And then the adults program, we started an intro program kind of based on like 6 weeks. It's an evening class. It's from 7 to 8 on Tuesday and Thursdays.
Yeah.
It's in the gi. And, we usually have a few students in there kind of rolling now, where they'll do 10 to 12 classes, and then they might start transitioning into our normal class. Mm-hmm. But it's been great as just a feeder to our normal gym membership. Hey, give it a shot for 6 weeks.
Cool.
See how you feel about it.
You ever thought about going into schools for kids and like trying to partner in any way? Because I mean, that's the biggest flow of kids in the area. And,
Sure.
and obviously with bullying and everything else that goes on in schools, like
Yeah.
could be a good feeder.
It could. I've thought about it. I just haven't
I don't know how you'd
dipped
execute
my
it.
toes in there yet. Yeah.
But it's there,
It
I'm
is there.
sure. And,
Yeah.
you're dealing with 300 kids, 400 kids in a school. Like,
sure.
I don't know how you structured if, first month percentage off or whatever.
Yeah.
But so keep growing it. And then, going forward, just keep writing music,
Yeah.
hanging out with your buddies,
Yeah.
doing what you can do to like keep normalcy in your
That's
life
it.
and keep dealing.
Yeah.
Do you have an optimistic look on the future?
Yeah. I'm definitely, I do. It's weird though, I'm just like appetite loss and getting up on time and doing like normal things can really throw you off. You know, the first few months, especially, I mean, it could be 11 or 12 before I even wanted to get out of bed. And then, and then you're not eating normal. And it's just all this stuff I hadn't really thought about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just losing the desire to, function normally is a really, it's a trip.
Are you talking to anybody currently?
No.
So you don't, that doesn't work for you in terms of like a therapist or?
Yeah. I mean, it was nice at first to do it.
Then it just brings back the
I just didn't feel like it changed a lot for me, specifically. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not an anti, therapist at all.
No. Yeah. Any coach, I'm not anti.
Yeah. But, I just didn't feel like it did enough for me with what I was kind of going through.
Totally.
But, no, all good.
Well, I love you, buddy.
Yeah. Love you too, man.
You're a good dude, man.
Thank you.
And you were good. I mean, through this this is the first experience I've ever had with someone who I know well and their partner, just to watch the selflessness that you've showed over the years. It's like, sometimes it's tough as like a measuring stick. And I like reflect on myself and like what I would do and how I would react. And I don't believe I would hold the bar that you held.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I don't. I would question you on that, Mike, because I think when you're in love with someone,
I don't know. I don't know.
Everything changes, man.
Well, now for sure. Right? Obviously, if anything happened to my wife, but I'm talking about the early stages when there's still an out. You never took an out.
Yeah.
Like that's unbelievable from a human perspective of never taking the out.
No, it was never. It was honestly never on my mind. It was never a part of the equation. It was like I felt like this was the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you made the right decision. Yeah. Regardless of what you're going through right now. It was an amazing run.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Well, I'll be thinking about you. I hope the gym continues to grow. I've heard nothing but good things. I know the coaching's great. I know the environment's great. If you're at the helm, I know it's a very positive, supportive community, so I wish you the best in that. Also, as you keep, on this journey of confronting grief, obviously, I'm always there and we're always there.
Thank you.
But you're always in my thoughts, bud.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Thank you.